All right, so we're going to draw a rabbit. And this is going to be the back, so it's okay if you have extra lines and stuff. But you're going to first start with a pretty big oval. Like that. This is the body of the rabbit. For me, it's a little bigger than my fist, so for you it might be as big as your hand, or a little bigger than your hand. Then at the top left, you're going to draw another circle. Mine overlaps a little bit. The bunny needs a little bit more of a pointed nose, so you can make a little point on it. So we have an oval, the circle, and a little point for the nose. You need bunny-sized ears, so you need tall ears. If you want to do one bent, you kind of go up and then bend it like that. You don't have to though. And our bunny is going to be laying on the ground. So you can do a little paw that kind of comes out like this. See how it's kind of flat with the bottom? The other paw is kind of going to be inside of the bunny's body, kind of next to it. So little U's like this. And then of course, the bunny tail. Remember, your bunny does not have to look like mine, as long as it looks somewhat like a bunny. Now you don't have to do this part, but I want to show you. You are only cutting out the outside part of the bunny. So you're not going to cut out his body parts or her body parts separately. So this blue line represents what you're going to cut out. So I'm not going to cut that. I'm not going to cut that. I'm not going to cut that. I am not going to cut that. I'm only going to cut the outside. So when you're ready, you can cut out your bunny. Keep the green paper that's extra, because you might need that for extra topiaries in your topiary garden. Just so you can see, this is the back, so this is what my bush will look like on the front. If you want to, you could add some of these lines back into the front, but only the ones you need. So like this foot, if you want the front kind of just to go like that, maybe add a little bit here, that's fine. Maybe add a tiny bit of the head, but you don't need much more detail than that. I guess if you wanted to separate the tail, you could. But we're just kind of dealing with the general form. All right, friends, stop whatever you're doing just for a second. I'm going to quickly show you step by step what you're going to do next so you can see the end result. And then the second part of the video is showing you it slower. So let me show you real quickly how this is going to progress. So you'll start with your ground, and then you will put clouds in it next, because those need to go behind things. You can rip them or cut them. Then with your extra white paper, you can make stems for extra trees or bushes. I use brown crayon just to make texture on them. Then you can use your extra green to add the extra topiaries. You can make fun shapes, or you can just make them look like natural bushes. And then at the end, you're going to put your topiary bush on top. Make sure nothing is poking off the side of the page. All right, here's the slowed down version in a second that you can follow along with. All right, so for your background, for your topiary, you have 3 pieces of paper. The first is your sky. So that starts as your background. Then this green piece is your ground. So you can glue that onto your paper. Make sure that your ground doesn't go off your paper, but actually lines up with the bottom so that it doesn't make your paper any bigger, because this exact size fits in your folder. After you have your ground and your sky, you can make clouds. Now, with your white paper, you can cut them. I'm gonna rip them because I like that kind of fluffy looking texture it gets when I rip. Remember, clouds can be all sorts of different shapes. And then you'll glue your clouds. So you're going from like your background, your ground and your background, to things that will be in your foreground, which is like your topiary garden. Okay. You probably have some extra paper from when you cut out your animal. If you want to do a sun, you could, I like doing half circles for suns, but you could do like a half circle and then draw rays later if you want to. Maybe put some birds. Okay, so the next thing, after we do our background, some of my other friends in other classes did like mountains and stuff on the edge. It's up to you how creative you want to get with your background and stuff. But then you need to create stems and bushes. So for my trunks or stems, I'm gonna use the white paper and then I'm gonna color them brown. Kind of like our other practice, if you want to do different shapes or forms, you can do that. Your animal is going to go right in the middle, overlapping this, so make sure that you, if you glue something in the middle, know that your animal is going to go on top. All right, and then you can do different kind of forms. You can do other animals if you have time to. You can just do different kinds of shapes. And make sure everything's on your page. You don't want anything to hang off the edge. So there will be some overlapping. So like this overlaps my cloud. This will overlap my mountain a little bit. Which is okay, because in real life, things would overlap. All right, and then you would put your animal on top. When you're done You put your bunny in your landscape. It's going to cover some of the other trees and stuff, which is okay. Glue it down, make sure it's not hanging off the edge, so natural overlapping will happen.